All right, today we have Pat with her third presentation, which is get to the point. And I know this is going to be a fun challenge for her because she likes to be all out there. But in this one, we're judging her on her being able to tell us a clear general purpose and then specific purposes within that, and how her introduction, body, and conclusion all support the general and specific purposes of the speech. She's not to use notes or show any nervousness. And her sincerity and conviction in her message should come through to all of us. You be the judge as we now listen with pleasure to Pat.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Change is a constant. That's why I'm not a firm believer in change for change's sake. We have enough in our day, every day. However, there are times when change is screaming to be made, especially in the workplace. Inefficient processes, communication breakdowns, out of control costs, unhappy staff. All of these are indicative that change may be necessary. When you see these red flags, don't ignore them. Identify the problem, plan the change, implement the plan, monitor the results, and if necessary, tweak a little bit just to get it back on track. Following these few steps can help you successfully implement change. Today, I want to share with you the situation I walked into, and using these steps, I successfully reorganized a department. I joined Healthcare Legal Services in May of 2005 as Director of Operations. The firm contracts with hospitals throughout California to help manage their self-pay accounts receivable. My first day on the job, I was handed some paper with a list of names and minimal job duties for each employee. I would say I was given job descriptions, but they didn't exist. I found out these were to be my direct reports. Well, I'm not sure about her. No, maybe this one. No, my first red flag. I decided early on that I would sit with each employee to get to know them a little bit better, what they do each day, what their actual job duties were, what their aspirations were, how satisfied they were, and any suggestions that they might have for improvements. In short, anything they wanted to share with me. I was all ears. This enabled me to get a better sense of each one of them, and vice versa. It was an enlightening process, and it really helped me learn each employee as well as the company. For instance, some of the employees were very, very bored doing the same thing every single day. Others didn't have enough to do to keep them busy, while others would lock themselves in the copy room 3 to 4 days a month preparing month-end reports, sometimes taking this work home to meet deadlines. Cross-training, non-existent. If anybody was out sick, the work stopped. Do you think the clients were happy? How about the account managers who were responsible to those clients? I'll never forget the day I was sitting in my office and I looked up to see a pallet of paper being delivered. Now mind you, this is a small company. A pallet of paper, 20 cases. And then the second one rolled in. Inefficiency was an understatement. And there was another aspect to the organization of this department that affected performance. When the account managers or the clients had a question or a problem, they did not know who to talk to. As luck would have it, there was an employee who did some reports, and she left shortly after I got there. There was nobody else who had the skill set to do what she was doing. Downloading information into Excel and electronically submitting them to the clients. I had that skill set, so I assumed that responsibility. But this was an opportunity, and it provided the impetus to create much needed change within the organization and the department. I don't know about you, but the drive home for me is when I decompress from the day. You know, how'd the day go? What needs my attention? What's on the agenda tomorrow? How's that project going? One evening on the drive home, it occurred to me. I had the solution. I knew exactly what needed to be done. The next day, I went in and started planning those changes. I created a matrix, had the employee names across the top, all the department functions down the side. I started assigning account managers with their corresponding clients to each employee, being sure to match personalities, balance the workload with the skill set. I sat down with the supervisor of the department and I reviewed this matrix with her. And she was very excited at the prospect of reorganization. It was long overdue. With a little bit of her input, actually a lot of her input, we tweaked it and presented it to the staff. They were also really excited. But there was still one obstacle. They didn't know Excel. So I put together a training document, nice screenshots, we've all done that. Push this button, do this to sort the data, and scheduled a training session with everybody. And then the fun really began. It took probably 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks to identify the problem, put together the plan, train and implement it. But they did it. And they did it very well, and they had a lot of fun. We all had a lot of fun. Over the course of about 3 months, we worked out all the bugs, and they got to know their new roles and responsibilities. I had a staff that was challenged each day, that had routine, variety in their, not routine, they had variety in their day. Communications improved with the account managers in the hospitals. Cross-training was effective, so if somebody was out, the work still got done. Costs were reduced. In short, we realized huge benefits. Does every change go well? Not always. Every project is a little different. But if you remember to identify the problem, plan the changes, implement the plan, monitor the results, and be prepared to tweak, then you can manage any bump in the road that you run into with relative ease. Thank you.